Several months ago on the show, we had several young entrepreneurs on the show. They run Hire the World. It is an online site designed for outsourcing, and we had a fascinating conversation. I love the concept of outsourcing. Welcoming back now Doug Beech, one of the twins who, along with Arash Farouz, did I say his name right?
Yeah, that's perfect.
Have developed Hire the World. Thanks for coming back on the show, Doug.
Hey, thanks for having me, Steve. I appreciate it.
Now, a couple months ago, when we actually, it was maybe 8 months ago, 9 months ago, you guys were very much in startup phase. You were offering to the internet community at large outsourcing. You were finding everything from accountants to graphic designers to writers to photographers. Any knowledge work that needed to be done, you were basically brokering that, putting the relationship together between the people who had the work and the people in the skilled labor that wanted to do the work. And I think it's a tremendous space. We had engaging conversation, I think, and it's now 9 months later. So what's happening?
Yeah, so you're right. It's a really great space, Steve. Since we've talked, it's funny. Like, we were offering 541 different skill categories, and the kinds of work that was coming across our desk, you just couldn't even imagine. It was actually really great information to see how many different entrepreneurs were doing different kind of marketing tactics, or even individuals that were outsourcing. Medical writing was something that came across our desk. But in the last 9 months, as we were going through the 541 categories, we were offering all these services, but each service, I guess we talked a bit about this before, it was really difficult for us on a limited marketing budget to explain exactly what it is that we do. We didn't, we could explain that we were an outsourcing company and you can pretty much do anything, but when we would say that to people, people would be like, well, what are some examples? And so you'd be trying to hit 541 different topics, hoping that the customer would say, hey, yeah, I really need that.
Yeah.
And so what's happened in the last 9 months is that we took our most profitable segments, which happened to be graphic design, which is what we started with, and we've actually narrowed and focused the business solely on graphic design. As of 2 months ago, we've just gone through a site redesign, and last month was our first month where we still had some jobs withering on the vine, we like to say. So there's still people getting bookkeeping and programming done in the background on our site, but we're not offering any new jobs. We had our most profitable month last month. And I think just for the sole reason of focus, I know this is a pretty big rant, but we talked about it before earlier too, is that now my mom can actually go and explain to her friends what it is that we do on the internet, where before she was like, I don't know, it's like around the world and they do all this stuff.
So you simplified things. So when you started out, I can just imagine what was going on. You were excited about every new category that you could provide services in because you saw the potential of every one of those 500 plus categories. And it was so easy you thought growth would probably come through adding more categories and just getting bigger and bigger and bigger, offering all of these online services, which is perfectly legitimate. But it's so difficult to capture mind share when you're looking at that many, when you're spreading yourself that thin. So instead of growing outward, you guys just decided to completely narrow your focus and only concentrate on graphic design. And that's a pretty bold step. It must have caused you a fair bit of interesting conversations between the three of you as you moved ahead.
Oh, I tell you, we spend a lot of time. This is we call this our board game room because we play a lot of board games in here, but it's also where we make all our decisions. And we're talking about a couple months of debate, Steve, because we're making money in those other categories, but at the same time, like, you see the revenue coming in, but then you also see, some of our staff on customer service calls where they're trying to explain why there's a dispute because there's this medical writing program that they're trying to get done, and we just couldn't provide the service. Like, we had so many unique problems coming in, and because we were so broad, we couldn't really make like specialized solutions that really spoke to our customers and made it really easy for them in so many different categories. It was just tough. It was tough times. So really the biggest benefit so far is being able to focus our marketing dollars and just making sure that our customers, when you hear that you need something that's risk-free, safe, and an innovative, fun way to get quality graphic design, now we can start getting our customers to think, oh yeah, Hire the World. Like their solution is it's way better than the traditional way of getting graphic design service.
So now you guys are focusing a lot more on, obviously on the graphics market, but you've got a unique way of approaching that as well. You've got the ability to create contests and to do some other things to create a lot of energy around the design.
Yeah, absolutely. So a lot of people compare us instantly. We have some good competitors in the space, and crowdsourcing, it's a great business.
Yes.
Um, but where we really differentiate ourselves is we're trying to build a place where graphic designers can make a career. So in a contest, right, you're really competing against other graphic designers, and we like to take a look at it like it's a lead gen, because a lot of our graphic designers are from all around the world, and they traditionally couldn't access North American dollars but even though they were just as talented.
Yeah.
So we have lots of customers that come in and they start a contest. Maybe it's just for a logo or a website, and then they really, they get dozens of designers they see from like Japan or Toronto or Singapore, and they get to look at all their work before they decide on what they want to pay for. But usually, when they get a graphic designer that like really speaks to them and speaks to their target market, they want to keep working with them.
Hmm.
And so we have online tools that allow you to, hire, manage, and pay people all over the world. So, and graphic design, it makes our tools way better because you can imagine. So when graphic designers work not on a contest but on an hourly basis, they sign into this our software, and it takes screenshots randomly and every 5 to 10 minutes, just so that they know that every hour they work they get paid for, right? Well,
Okay.
you can imagine if you're taking screenshots of a programmer taking code in PHP, it doesn't really say much for our client base. Our client's like, well, I saw that he's coding, but I really don't know what he's doing. But in graphic design,
You
it's
can
very
see
visual. You know exactly what they're doing.
the evolution of it. So how does a typical contest work?
Yeah, it's really simple. It's 3 steps. So basically, you come to our site and you say you want whatever kind of project you have. So if it's like a logo, a T-shirt design, a website, you fill out a 5-minute brief. You tell us what your project is, what your needs are, and how much you're willing to pay. It starts at $265, which is very inexpensive if you look at the field of what it normally costs. You're talking 20% of the normal cost for even just going into a traditional design agency.
Yeah.
And then we broadcast that to thousands of designers all over the world, and they go and look at the project. They see if they're interested in it. They think, hey, do I have a vision for this person? They create up some initial images, and they send them into Hire the World. And so you get a few results in days, and by the end of a contest, the average contest gets over 109 designs for you to choose from. And the best thing is it's completely risk-free. We guarantee that you're going to get a design that you love, that meets your needs, that you're going to be able to use, or else you get your money back. So that's something that traditional graphic designers do not offer.
That's the challenge when you're dealing with just a single designer. Now, while you gain the benefit of communicating face to face and all of those sorts of things, it's still sometimes very difficult, especially for business people, to communicate concepts to graphics people. That's always a challenge. So
Yeah.
just throwing an awful lot of different designs at the wall is a great way of approaching it, because you're getting some really creative and unique approaches.
Yeah, absolutely, Steve. We like to say around here, there's a lot of our clients that really don't know what they want, but they'll know when they see it. And that's the beauty about our site, is that you're going to see hundreds of designs, and then you're like, that's the one, and then you pay for it.
Which of the contests that you've had, say on logo design, what's your favorite ones that you've had so far?
Oh, I know my favorite for sure. It's called Infinite Motorcycles,
Uh
and
huh.
it's this really cool guy. And do you know what? It got one of the least amount of designs. It was a really interesting contest. I think it was $235, so it was the minimum amount for a logo.
Yeah.
And this person was creating infinite motorcycle training. So he was doing like, if you want to learn how to ride a motorbike, you go to his company.
Okay.
And so there's this really cool one, and I'll bring it up, or I guess you can post it. And there's this really cool motorcyclist, and he's on tires that make an infinite symbol, and the
Oh.
infinite symbol's just revving up, and it's getting really, really. You can just tell it's ready to rock. And the contest only got 39 entries because when this talented designer from the Philippines put it up, the other designers on the comment feed just said, no, that's the winning design. We can't design better than that. And the
Oh.
employer was like, yeah, that's the design. Yeah, there's no way.
So the designers can see the other designers' work
Yeah.
as
And
it's coming along, so
you
they
have
can
the
decide
four
if.
ways. You can make it a blind contest, or you can make it so that it's an interactive, collaborative contest. But in that one, it was collaborative.
Okay. Now, what about high profile? Have you had some high profile customers?
Yeah, we've had some really great ones. Well, do you know what? We did do a contest. The one that we got the most like audience for was with the Winnipeg Jets.
Yeah.
But the Winnipeg Jets, of course, already paid a fortune to a design company, like probably hundreds of thousands of dollars. So they already had their logo. But we thought their fan base would really like to participate, and so we went ahead and ran a contest for them anyways. And the local news picked it up, and we had fans, children pumping up designs. I think we got like 450 designs from people all over Manitoba, and of course the newspapers picked it up, the local TV station picked it up. We've done contests for a local blueberry, the actually new blueberry company here. That's a local, they own the Canucks, so they did a contest. We've done lots of really cool contests. The majority of them are people that are just starting new businesses, like massage therapists or dog walking schools, or we've had some really great website contests. I know Cap Firm, who got multi-millions of dollars in funding for their product. They built their initial website on us, and it turned out beautiful.
Mm-hmm.
Have you ever heard of the company Swarm Jam?
Yes.
Yeah, they're like a Groupon style site. They
Yeah.
had a really great business model where they partnered with newspapers and got all their advertising for free, and then had like some kind of deal that if they hit a certain revenue number, they would be bought out. It was a beautiful plan. They got a site redesign for Swarm Jam actually done on Hire the World as well a couple of years ago.
Okay. So, and now it's not just logos though. You also do websites. You do book art, business card design, print design. So there's a even though you've focused on graphics, there's a pretty broad spectrum of graphics work that's available.
Yeah, absolutely. We do clothing. Like right now, we're running some promo contests to get some more book covers. We're actually giving away 2 free book cover contests to self-publishing authors. Just trying to get the word out there that, hey, listen, there's a better way that you don't have to go and get the free make your own book cover that looks like everybody else's, and you don't have to pay the expensive way either. And clothing design's a big one as well. T-shirt design.
And what about motion graphics?
We don't do very many motion graphics. I know that we do banner ads, which potentially you could get those gifts to they could be multiple images.
Simple
I know
animation
people
there,
like making them for Google, so you can get those designed. But like animated graphics, we don't do.
Okay. So
It's all 2D.
well, come on, guys, grow into some new markets for goodness sake.
Hey, we just narrowed down. Like, we don't need this pressure, Steve.
Fair enough. Listen, Doug, I appreciate the update. We'll be posting links to, and I'll post links to the logos that you liked as well, so that people can get an idea for that. I wish you and your brother well, and your partner, and we'll have an update in 6 more months. Maybe you'll be doing something completely different then as well.
Yeah, no, that sounds great, Stephen. Thanks for having us again. It's always great talking to you.
My pleasure. Doug Beech from HireTheWorld.com.